Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Log execute.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we took on Team Rocket at the Slowpoke Well, after learning that they had been cutting off Slowpoke tails. In this episode, we will be challenging the Azalea Town gym. So, let's get right on in. As you can clearly see from that symbol, this place is a Bug-type gym. And before we really get on into it, the gym puzzle is actually pretty straightforward. But I won't be focusing on that for right now. I want to actually mention that this episode is actually very special because when it's being recorded, it is the 14-year anniversary of when Heart Gold and Soul Silver were first released in Japan. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And one thing that I didn't mention when briefly going over my recap of last episode, we actually helped out the Pokeball creator Kurt in our endeavors against Team Rocket, and in return, as you likely saw from the last episode, if you haven't, go watch it, he's able to make Pokeballs for us from apricorns. So I would like to go over that, but first we've got Langstrom learning Wing Attack, his first really good move. And since I have Bite, I don't think I'm going to be using Astonish anymore. Actually, you know what? Nah. Leech Life, as good as it is to have a healing move of some kind, it's too weak at this point to really be of much use, so Wing Attack's probably for the best to use instead. So, as we go through this gym, taking on all the gym trainers and the Azalea Town gym leader, I would like to go over the apricorns that you can find in this game and what Kurt can give you from them. So we'll start with the black apricorns, which provide you with heavy balls, which, as the name suggests, they're more effective against Pokemon that are naturally heavy. Next up, there are blue apricorns, which will ultimately provide you with lure balls, which will be more effective on Pokemon fished up, having a 3 times capture rate. Heavy balls, as I probably should have mentioned, will have the Pokemon's base catch rate affected by either subtracting 20, not being affected at all, adding 20, or adding 40 to their base catch rate. So, very useful for heavy Pokemon. After that is yellow apricorns, which provide moon balls, which just have an increased catching multiplier for Pokemon that evolve using moonstones at some point in their evolutionary line. Then you have friend balls, which are made from green apricorns, which, when used, will have the same catch rate as a capture modifier as a normal Pokeball, but when a Pokemon is caught with them, they will end up giving the Pokemon caught with them a base friendship stat of 200, which that's out of 255, so pretty good, especially for those that you want to have happiness evolutions with. Red apricorns, even though we haven't run into any of those, create level balls, which have an increased multiplier on their capture modifier, depending on how leveled your Pokemon is compared to the wild Pokemon, ranging from 1 times effective if you're weaker or equal to the wild Pokemon that you're trying to catch, double if you're higher than, but not double your opponent's level, 4 times if you are double your opponent's level, but not quadruple your opponent's level, and finally 8 times if you are quadruple your opponent's level, which for later parts of this game, due to the bad level curving, that can actually be a very useful Pokeball for you. So, after that, there are pink apricorns, which create love balls, which I personally don't find all that useful. The game says that it helps you catch Pokemon of the opposite gender. It's not exactly that. It does help you catch Pokemon of the opposite gender, but they have to be the same species as the Pokemon you're using. So if you have your... Well, take Jason here. If I have a Flaffy here who's a male, so it would make it easier to catch female Flaffy. That's not necessarily all that useful, since my Nuzlocke rules have Dupe's Claws, and thus I can't catch anything that I have already caught, so not as useful as some other Pokemon, well, other Pokeballs. And finally, that leaves white apricorns, which create fastballs, which, despite the name, they're not as useful. They only have a 4 times capture modifier for Pokemon whose base stats are 100 or above, which there aren't that many Pokemon that have base stats of 100 or above that appear in the overworlds. Well, actually, they appear in tall grass. Usually it's Pokemon with much lower stats who eventually become Pokemon with those high speed base stats. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can play with Beefly there. And I'll just go right ahead and challenge these two to a double battle. So yeah, a lot of different Pokeballs that Kurt can make you. He takes a full day to make them, but he'll make as many as you can give him of apricorns, so pretty useful. I've been taking advantage of it off screen to grind up some pretty good Pokeballs that I'll be using later on in the run, so look forward to seeing that. As you can clearly see from my levels, I did do a lot of off-screen training just to get my team ready for the gym battle ahead, because honestly, this gym battle is a good deal harder than Falkner was, and you'll understand that when we actually get into it. I will say that the remakes definitely gave this gym a step up over the Gen 2 version of the gym, where it was fairly simple to go through. But it's more just for one specific change to one specific Pokemon on the gym leader's team. But I'm not entirely worried, because I've got Victoria, who's pretty solid for every gym in this game. Probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well. Just gonna challenge him with Beefly. I suppose one thing that I could say is that I've been a little bit of a downer on this game. So far, it's been fairly cut and dry as to me being a bit negative, but I'm hoping that you are seeing that this can be a lot of fun, especially Nuzlocking compared to, say, Gen 3 games, where there's so much more that you have to keep on top of between the day of the week, daily events and all that, time of day for catching Pokemon. And honestly, I do like a lot of the Pokemon that this region gives you to start out with to explore. I do kind of wish that other games would have more variety in what you can catch in these early stages, but not every game, I suppose, can be like this. I do like this game quite a bit, but there are things that I could definitely improve on. Anyway, with that, I'm going to be swapping my team around because we're about to actually take on the gym leader. Let's put Victoria in the front. I gave Victoria the shell bell that you can find south of that Pokemon Center on the eastern side of Union Cave, because she's going to be doing quite a bit of fighting here and going to be taking a lot of damage, and I'd rather not have to heal her. I suppose before I actually get in, I should probably use a potion or something on Jason, just so that if he has to go in, he doesn't automatically die. I don't expect this to go badly, but you never know, so let's just get on up and see. I'm Bugsy. I never lose when it comes to bug-type Pokémon. My research is going to make me the authority on bug-type Pokémon. Let me demonstrate what I've learned from my studies. Alright, Bugsy, well, you want our best, I'll give it to you. He's going to be starting out with his ace, a Seipher, and this is why you have to be very careful with approaching this fight, because this Seipher comes with the move U-Turn, which is a 70 power bug-type move that will force the user to switch out once it does damage. However, luckily for me, his Seipher chose to go with Leer, and I got a critical hit, so that major thing that I was worried about, that is a difficulty jump from Falkner, is taken care of before the word go. Thankfully, the AI was kind of stupid, and Victoria is trying to learn self-destruct. I do not want that. Self-destruct could be good in a Nuzlocke for sacking her later, but I really don't feel like it. So let's just start taking care of the rest of his team, which is a Metapod and a Kakuna, which I believe only have Harden and Tackle, and Harden and Poison Sting, respectively. Either that or just Tackle and Poison Sting, respectively. Either way, not all that scary. His main strategy is using U-Turn to get a massive hit with Scyther and then bringing in these Tinky Cocoon Pokemon, but Victoria was able to make short work of them. And you can see now why I wasn't so worried. That's the end of it. Yeah, Bugsy, that's the end of it. You probably should have stuck with your normal strategy instead of using Leer on me. Whoa, amazing! You're an expert on Pokémon. My research isn't complete yet. Okay, you win. Take this badge. Seipher received the Hive badge from Bugsy. Awesome. 2 badges down, and we're looking good. Do you know the benefits of the Hive badge? If you have it, Pokemon up to level 30 will obey you, even traded ones. Pokemon that know Cut will be able to use it outside of battle too. Here, I also want you to have this. Obtain TM89, U-Turn. TM89 contains U-Turn. It lets your Pokemon attack, then switch with the next Pokemon in your party. It lets you actually switch with any Pokemon in your party. It's a very useful move. I intend to teach it to Langstrom if he gets up there high enough, because it's in a Nuzlocke, any move that allows you to switch out is pretty excellent. Isn't that great? Alright, with that, we can just now leave the gym. And seeing as we don't have much left to do, we're gonna just quickly run back to the Pokemon Center. Assuming that this speeds up a little. Come on. And before I do, I actually want to change my team around just a bit. The current level cap now that I've beaten Bugsy is 19, so I can't get too overpowered, so gotta keep on top of things. And I'm gonna want to lead with Ash going forward, but for that, I want to quickly run off to the Pokemon Center because we need some serious healing, and I'm gonna ignore that phone call that I've got from Ralph because I honestly don't expect him to give me anything good. Off screen, I suppose I should mention that I have gotten a few calls back from Wade, the bug catcher, and have gotten some berries off of him, which I recommend that you do get his number and get berries off of him, because outside of the Pokewalker, which was this little accessory that came with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you pre-ordered it, I believe, you have no other way of getting berries outside of cheat codes. So yeah, definitely take advantage of any trainer that tells you that they'll call you up and give you berries every now and then. Anyway, you want to heal at the Pokemon Center after the gym, because if you try and leave town to the left toward Ilex Forest, where we caught that Paris before, you'll see yourself stopped, and oh boy, it's you, Mr. Lawless Sunshine. Tell me something. Is it true that Team Rocket has returned? What? You beat them? Ah! Quit lying. No, I beat them. Are you serious? Then let's see how good you are. I mean, Team Rocket was never all that difficult to beat back in Kanto when I became the champion. I don't know why you think I'd have trouble beating them. I mean, I beat you rather easily, and you don't even have a full team. And that glitch is back. I'll have to fix that I'll have to fix that after I finish this episode, but it shouldn't be an issue. Starting off with a Ghastly that really can't do much. It's too low level to really know anything that could really do anything to you. It does know Curse at this point, which could be a little scary if it uses Mean Look, but if you don't let it stick around too long, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Next up, he's sending out Croconaw, so his starter has evolved. So let's quickly swap out to something else. I think I'll send in Jason, because Jason didn't get to do anything in the gym outside of fight one gym trainer. Well, Jason was already going to be slower than you, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's Thunder Wave you, though, just so that some of your scary facing is kind of pointless, since your speed will be cut by 75%, I believe, in this generation. And let's hit you with a Thunder Shock. Geez, your special attack is pretty low, Jason. I know that I got an okay nature for you. Nothing that was lowering your special... Okay, prove me wrong then, I guess. Deal of your special attack, you'll prove me wrong. Although I guess that's more Thundershock's weak power than anything. Yeah, I mean, 34 special attack for this point in the game is not too bad, but... whatever. His last Pokemon is a Zubat. We dealt with everything else that you have. You're really packing on speed and power between Croconaw, Zubat, and Ghastly. Okay, with that, I think I'm gonna actually swap Pokemon and bring out our own Zubat to have a bit of a mirror match now that his Zubat's paralyzed. And just fight it so that maybe we can get a flinch off, or not. But we're pretty much golden here. There's nothing that this Zubat can do. And critical hit, Langstrom, thank you. You are the man. That. Okay, well that was kind of cheesy. Anyway, useless Pokemon. Listen, you only won because I didn't get to read that because this text seems to go too fast for some reason. I hate the weak. Pokemon trainers, it doesn't matter who or what. I hate to see them hanging around. That goes for Team Rocket too. They think they're big and tough as long as they are in a group. Well, you got that right, Scarlet. I guess you're not that dumb. But get them alone and they're weak. I hate them all. You really have some rage issues, don't you, Scarlet? You stay out of my way. You won't be an exception. If you get in my way. I'm not getting in your way. You're the one that keeps bumping into me. Well, with that, I think that I will end things off here. So, thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.